going on?
Go ahead, I'm excited.
Welcome to Off the Cuff. Y'all pray for Kelly. And she's like 10 times, like 10,
I'm just
10
tall.
feet taller.
Thank you.
Praise God. Listen, today on the show. Oh, wait a minute. We got to get into the blaze of the day, huh?
Yes.
Blaze of the day? Do you think we need a blaze of the day for this?
No, we don't even need a blaze for this, actually.
No blaze of the day? Oh, nah, you tripping. All right, that's cool. Roll it.
Y'all probably don't know the name. Well, people do. But I know you definitely know the music.
Yeah.
On this episode, we have none other.
Take your time, take your time, take your time.
The hit maker himself.
Hit maker.
From Bad Boys.
Bad boy.
Hits, was that not his squad? What they call the Hitmen? I'm sorry.
Hitman.
Chucky Thompson.
Yeah.
Sit back, relax, and check out this interview with the man himself, Chucky Thompson. Ladies and gentlemen, first, can I get that?
Bad boy.
Bad boy. Listen, the time has come. We have the legendary, the man himself, Chucky Thompson. What's good, bro?
Man, it's all good, man. I can't complain, man. How's everybody doing?
Man, we doing good, man. Man, you look like you wrapped up. You in Canada?
No.
That's the mask. It looks like.
Oh, the mask. I'm sorry.
He's not practicing.
You know, I'm actually at a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sitting in a restaurant right now.
Cool. Yeah. Listen, man, I appreciate you. First of all, let me run this down for people who don't know who you are. I know they heard your music, but I got to name a few. B.I.G. Big Papa, Mary J. Blige, which was nominated for a Grammy, Total, No One Else, Faith Evans, Soon As I Get Home,
That's
my jam.
That's the one.
I Used to Love You, Mariah Carey, Brian McKnight, Shantae Savage, Soul For Real, Ice Cube, Maya. There's too many. Nas, one mic, bruh. You the man.
Yeah.
You the man. So
you have to add Snoop in there now because I just did a record with Rare Essence. That's from DC.
Wait a minute. Go Rare Essence. Yeah.
Yeah. Snoop just came through and just blessed it, you know. So that just got released though. So shout out to Snoop, shout out to Rare Essence. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's a lot going on. Man.
You know DC, that go, and also you work with Chuck Brown too, right?
Yeah. There you go. That's my mentor. That's my friend.
Yeah.
Wow.
Super rest in peace to that dude, man. Yeah.
Well, you know, we both got something in common, which is my brother, your brother, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Dave. Shout out to my brother, Dave. So he could take me to
the Wild Wild West was a person, it would be Dave. Trust and believe, man.
Yo, we was talking on the phone, and he was like, yo, call Chuck. So when you had called my phone and your name popped up, I got scared. I said, oh, Lord.
Oh, good.
And I was like, oh, my goodness. But he was like, man, listen. He said, Chuck is my man. I said, listen, I appreciate you even taking time. So my first question, I'm going to ask you, how did you even get started in the music business, bro?
In the music business? Well, it started way before the music business for me. I was just a musician. I could play maybe 9 to 10 instruments. And this is all from, you know, like God-given talent. You know what I mean? And then, you know, as I started to understand what production was when Teddy Riley hit the scene. And
oh, my God.
Terry Lewis hit the scene and, you know, and Dr. Dre, and just understanding what Quincy Jones was doing. It's basically just incorporating all those instruments that I play into, you know, actually understanding what song structure was and all of those things. So it started from that, and then it just went to, you know, my house is like right around the corner from Howard University. So you know, because I've been playing in bands and playing instruments actually in the bands.
Okay.
So what happened is I bought a keyboard. As a matter of fact, somebody loaned me their keyboard. Mm-hmm. And she's the president of the Grammy, the DC chapter now. Her name is Elise Perry.
Okay.
So she was the one that loaned me her keyboard to learn. And I just started doing songs for all of the guys that were in the neighborhood up at Howard, and they would come through, and I actually got a group signed to Delicious Vinyl. It's a group called the Born Jamaicans.
Oh, we just talked about them. Yo,
you know
now listen. Did they win a contest on like Teen Summit a long time ago?
Exactly.
I remember them. Right. I remember
that was my song that got them their deal. So.
Oh my God.
But when I was actually signing my contract with Puff, that record was playing in New York. This was like 93, like the summer 93.
Right.
And I signed my deal in October of 93. So that's what started it, you know?
My goodness. What I love most, man, is that about you is you have a sound. Like, we know a Chucky Thompson groove. You
know what's weird, man? I always focused on not having a sound.
Really?
You know, I didn't want to, because I look, you know, one of my idols, like one of my heroes is Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Yes.
And they always surprised me. Like, I didn't know they did the Human League record.
Yeah.
I didn't know they did Sounds of Blackness.
Yes.
I didn't know they did all of that stuff for, they did the Cheryl Lynn record, Encore. You see what I'm saying? Like, look at the wide range.
They so versatile.
They did Human Nature. I mean, not Human Nature. I'm Only Human with the Human League. Was that it? I'm Only Human.
I'm Only Human.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm talking about.
They were like.
You never knew that.
Those were the people that I kind of patterned my thing behind because I didn't really want to have a sound, you know. But I mean, being with Bad Boy, it made me have a sound because that's what Puff was kind of going for.
Right.
You know, he really wanted a sound. I just played my part with it, you know.
Man, listen.
To help them develop a sound, which
your part is huge. It's hard to choose. Go ahead, Ken. What you gonna ask him?
So I was just gonna say I think even past the sound, it's the quality because you legit produce stuff that like nobody could do it but you. Like you did stuff that nobody else could pull the stuff out the way you did. So I just think I
appreciate it. Listen, a lot of that goes back to DC. You know what I'm saying? That was the thing that made my production different. Like when I did My Life for Mary, you know, I was actually acting like Rare Essence. You know what I mean? I was in my brain, I was just trying to do something different because everybody does cover songs and this and that. But I just wanted to have a swag to it that was like, you know, because you had Teddy walking around over here, you had Devontae walking around over here at that particular time. So, you know, I had to figure out what my name and what my style and what my signature was going to be. So I just grabbed from what I knew nobody else knew, which was, you know, just the sound of the city. So, you know, DC has definitely shaped a lot of those sounds that you have. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, you said that this came from you playing or being a musician. So growing up, I'm guessing this was this something you always wanted to do? Get into the music career?
You know what my father said? He said, man, your brain is 90% music and 10% everything else.
Wow.
I used to lose my keys. I used to do a bunch of stuff. My brain was just focused on music. Like I would remember the music before I remember lyrics. So I listen to a song, I know what the bass line sounds like. I know what the drums are. I can just duplicate it just from memory.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But you know, that was my buddy said basically, he said, man, everybody listens to music, but you just record it, you remember it. So that's what I would do as a kid. I would just listen, but I would do that to songs, period. I would just listen to the drums, just listen to the keyboard parts. Like I wouldn't hear the whole song. I would just hear it.
Just hear that.
Those
you know
parts.
what? I think that's what musicians do, because me, in fact, I'm a musician. Like Dave, perfect example. You know, growing up, we don't listen to music. We dissect it. Oh, did you hear the chords? Did you hear the bass line? Did you hear that riff? You know, and my mother, she'd be like, you can't never let someone play.
It's just science class 24/7, you know?
Right, absolutely.
But then, you know, I'm gonna tell you what happened is I started hanging out in Baltimore, and I met a DJ at the time. This is maybe like late 80s, 87, like right around there. And he was from Brooklyn. So I learned New York straight from the source, you know what I mean? And his name is Andre Johnson, but he would do stuff like, Chucky, listen, let me just play a record so you can listen to arrangement. Like, I know that you like to listen to these instruments.
Yes, sir.
Understand arrangement. And he put on Barry White, Ecstasy. If you ever really listen to that record, or how it starts off in the string, the build up and the, you know what I mean? So that's when I started focusing more on the song structure and arrangements, you know, that kind of thing.
Man, listen. Uh-oh, we got 10 minutes left. Uh-oh.
You hear us?
Can you hear us, Chuck?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
We back.
We back. We back. Can you hear Chuck?
All right, my bad. Good.
Okay. We coming. All right.
It went out again.
Okay, we good now. Can you hear us?
Okay, we back.
Okay, now we back.
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
All right, cool. This that technology, bro.
No, that's all good. Just we don't want no Teddy Riley moments. Shout out to my brother Teddy, but
shout out to Teddy. Shout out to Teddy. Listen, I have a question, and I have a lot of producer friends, and shout out to Paul Boutte and shout out to Vato, but they wanted me to ask you, and I want to know too. And I think this album, this guy was slept on. Whatever happened to Frankie?
Yo, do you understand that I get asked that question more than any question?
Word.
Yeah, man, but
crazy.
What it was is, you know, Frankie, I kind of forced Frankie. This is what you don't do with artists. You know, you don't. You think about the word artist. You know, they supposed to draw the picture, and then as a producer, you just color it in.
Right.
That time, Frankie was young. Like I had to wait for him to turn 18 to sign the deal, and I had been knowing Frankie since he was maybe 16 or whatever like that. So we knew that we were going to do a record together. It's just, you know, I promised him once I got situated that I would come back and get him. But I didn't realize, you know, at that time, he really wasn't into the whole record deal thing. So, I mean, and then also I was working with an artist that was signed to Bad Boy at the time. It was a guy named Q. And Puff and Q, you know, kind of had some differences in the rip. And then I started working with Q, period. I just stayed in contact with him. So Q wrote most of those Frankie records. He wrote If I Had You. He wrote the bulk of that album. And, you know, but like I said, this is me creating what Frankie was to be. It was like I ripped the page out of my childhood. I wanted Frankie to be kind of like what I was when I was 18.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And my temperament is totally different than Frankie's, you know? So then I create this whole album for him. And at the time, you know, I could feel that it wasn't a connection to him to record. I mean, not even to record the songs, but to perform the songs. Actually, you know, take it on. But it you know, so then it just wound up being too much. And I basically paused the situation. You know, Epic was ready to move forward. You know, I was ready to move forward. I had a conversation with Frankie, and he was just like, you know what? I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
Wow.
And I'm not the type of person, you know, I didn't get into this to rob his life or, you know, hold a gun to his head for my purpose. I'm like, okay, well, I thought I did this for us, but now I see that you want something else. We'll just call it, you know? And that way I save my relationships, you know, even with him, I saved my relationship. Because, you know, I didn't do it for that. I did it for us to you know, have fun with what we wanted to do. But once I realized what it was, I just said, cool. Gotcha. But that's what happened to Frankie. Right?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
But the album was fire. The album was fire.
Yeah.
It was fire.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I still get, you know, but I'm not done with that particular album because everybody loves it so much. I didn't even know, you know, I had a conversation with Music. And he told me something crazy. My father used to always say, man, Music sound, that band sounds just like Frankie, right?
Right.
Like Frankie, get out of here. So then I'm having a conversation with Music. We actually are a part of the Grammy Association. So we went to a function, and I had a chance to talk to him. He said, man, listen, man, let me tell you what I did. He said, I was upset with Music. I was upset with my he said, but he didn't want to be a traitor to his generation. This is Music. Wow. He said he didn't want to be a traitor to his generation. So he said, I'm going to go to the record store, and I'm going to buy a record. And he saw Frankie's album, read the credits, saw that I did it. And he said, Chuck, that record is what got me to start singing because I was a rapper.
Wow.
So then I guess my
Your dad was on to something.
Pops was it was lined up somewhere. So I mean, it's crazy the impact that album had for it to be like an underground classic, you know?
Right.
Because so much went on with me having a label, and it was just all new to me, you know. And I knew how to make the record, but it's a lot of other parts that go along with making sure that the record, you know, actually has a machine behind it. So, you know, it was a learning process, man. But it was a good one, though, because I think that. You know, for what it was, I think it did what I wanted it to do to the people that heard it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Man, listen, it was crazy. So my next question, and I'm going to have to let Kelly do her question. The era, Bad Boy era, I mean, it'll never be an era like that again. Never. From R&B to hip hop. Well, I guess it's a two-part question. How did it feel being around Big and 112 and Mace and the energy, the Hitmen? I mean, how did it feel? And then my second part is, I heard that you and Mary, I think Mary J. Blige said that, or I think it was Faith. One of them said that you guys have a connection musically that she doesn't have with other producers.
Okay, so the first question, you know what it is? At that time when we were all getting together, because just keep in mind that this is a vision of Sean, right? So his vision is to have a sound. That was the main conversation we had when I first signed with him. Was, okay, what do you want, Chucky? Okay, I don't want a sound. So he's like, I want a sound.
Oh,
okay.
So then it signed to this company, and I'm gonna be real with you. At that time, it was just basically like young Black movement. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I looked at it. You got Mary over here, who's on her upswing. We working on her second album. Then you got Big over here, who doesn't have a record out yet, but you could just feel what's about to happen with him.
Wow.
Then you got over here, we were all in the same house. Puff had a house in Scarsdale. So we were all running around in the same house. And then you got some of the other producers that he was working with. So I'm new to this thing, but I'm like, I could feel the energy of everybody uprising. You know, he's just getting out of the situation with Andre. Here's Clive giving him, you know, freedom to work. And Puff is a worker. Like, that dude right there, I don't think there's too many people that can mess with him when it comes to marketing, you know?
Wow. Yeah.
His marketing game is retarded. So then you're talking about him and what the idea was with the music. So then you talk about mixing in this hip hop thing, mixing in, you know, the R&B thing, and you got a lot of God around. Like, you got Jodeci over here, you got, you know, that we were just all like, you can just feel it. If you did, if I put it to you like this, it wound up being a lot of personal battles with each other. Like, if the studio over here is turning up harder, then you want to go in this room, make sure this room is turning up harder. It's just like it was just a constant battle with us, you know. But it was a good battle because everybody knows that, okay, we're all trying to grind, but then there's still that competition that was going on. So it was like, I'm trying to grind, but I'm gonna smoke you. So you know what I mean? It was just like a good energy and vibe around. And I'm not gonna say that can never happen again. It's just, you know, the leadership that Puff had to get his mission accomplished. You know what I'm saying? You have to have that. You have to have that vision that's clear. You know what I mean? And that's one credit I gotta give that dude, man, is to have that vision that's clear, and then also to execute. Because we all get ideas.
Right.
It's always, but then what happens with the execution of it? You know what I mean? Sometimes things don't come out the way that you thought that they would. So do you stop there? Do you just quit there, or do you keep flipping it into something that's, you know, close to what you were thinking to get that result? And that's pretty much what we were doing. Like, everybody was supporting everybody. I'm gonna be real with you. Big used to talk to Craig about, you know, he felt like Craig was, you know, kind of the one hit thing. And he used to talk to him. He used to talk to him real, like, oh man, you gotta do more than that. You can't give us some more than that. You know what I'm saying? Big was crazy, man. But
wow,
all of those things, you know, if you paid attention, you would benefit from it. Because it was like, it was just like greatness around us. But it was the greatness around us wanting to be great.
Right.
You know,
it brings out the best.
It all kicked off with Sean. You know what I mean? This dude exuded greatness. I mean, it's as far as we would order food from one place, and his food would be straight from the VIP section. You know what I'm saying? So just even from the food, it was crazy. But
Sean did it home.
Yeah, it's like if you think a millionaire, you have to actually live millionaire. You have to
now that's good. That's good advice. That's good advice. That's good advice.
What it is you want it to be, and that's what it'll be. It's a make believe world, man. To be honest, it's whatever you make believe. Real talk.
That's crazy. And the vibe that you have with Mary and
oh yes, this one right. She's like a sister to me. You know what I mean? Like when I first met Mary, right? And the thing that was crazy was I knew she was hood. You know, you don't approach. It's like certain animals, you don't walk up on them, Joe. You just let them be in their habitat. You know what I mean? And it's somewhere in there, if they could feel that your energy is good, they'll come around to you. And that's pretty much what I did. Puff was searching for so many songs with her that one song went to her that wasn't supposed to go to her. It was a group that I did it for in DC, and I told the guy not to send it, and he sent it anyway. And that was the one song that she picked out of every song that she was getting that she hated. She loved that one.
Wow.
And you know, I just had one song. So me coming up there to New York and seeing her, and I just stayed in my space. You know what I mean? Everybody was after her at that time. She was such a talent and such something new. Everybody used to swear her and talk to her. And I wasn't doing none of that because I could feel, before I felt the industry stuff, I felt her as a real person.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm going to be real, like half my mission after she picked that song, and after all of the producers that worked on that first album with her came back with crazy numbers because they felt like, okay, we took her to 3 million, so we want to charge 3 million a track.
Yeah.
Like, she's super hood, Joe. She wasn't playing with that. She's like, okay, y'all want to charge that? You'll be charging that over there. You know
Right.
And then, you know, she just basically reached to Puff and said, look, I'm loving what you and Chucky doing. Like, would y'all mind doing my whole album? Man, I didn't go
change everything. Oh, Chuck, stop.
They were going to parties and moving around. I stayed in the studio.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it was like, this is my chance to really like relationship and stay in my space. But I was starting to see stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he have to do much, but just be myself. And she felt the energy, and then me and her wound up having a bond outside of Puff. So then it was like, we would show up with records that he didn't even know about. You know what I'm saying? We were just doing stuff. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I was just trying to get her out of that. Because you got to keep in mind, Puff had her in the space with the fashion. And, you know, it was different for people. They weren't accepting it the way they were looking at her like she was something. I mean, she was hood, but she was more than that to me when I hear the music. When I heard that Sweet Thing record.
Yes.
I'm like, wait a minute, Joe. This girl is different. She just. Yeah. So I wanted to definitely fly her into more of the diva zone than just that, you know, what they were basically trying to play her out as because of how she dressed. You know, I was just like, nah, she's more than that. And that's where those songs started coming in. Like, you know, when you can hear the whole album, it's like we were in the song. We did that whole album in like 4 months.
Wow.
You know, it was the energy and the vibe it's crazy.
Wow.
That's it is with me and her, man. It's like it's family, Joe. It's like it's crazy. Her family is my family. So
that's
a lot.
What's up?
All right, so last question. What would you tell any producer that's up and coming that wants to get into the business? What would be your top advice, your top tips for them to be successful?
Find an inspiration. Find something that you can, what can I say? You can kind of pattern your vibe Something that you feel is the most successful situation in your category. Find that inspiration. And then second is don't stop. Don't quit. You gotta keep going, Joe, because you gotta think about it like this. My first record that I made was terrible, Joe. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what I was doing, but you have to go through that, man, you're doing terrible to, okay, wait, you know what I mean? And then it turned into more. It's like riding a bike, man. You just gotta stay on it. You may fall, but you learn from them falls, you know?
Yeah.
So that would be my advice to anybody right now. And then go. Like, don't even play around with it, you know?
Right.
The thing that is different from my time to right now is, you know, you can make a record tonight and put it out tonight.
Yeah.
The only problem with that is so can your neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you have to, you know, recognize what's happening and push forward and just try to get stuff out. Just try to get stuff out to the people. Because you never know. It's just like having a bunch of coins at the slot machine. You know what I mean?
Right.
You never know.
Right.
The coins you got, the more chances you had to hit, you know?
Right.
But that would be my advice, man. Try to find you a nice mentor or somebody to focus on, you know, just to have a bar that you set for yourself. And then keep going.
Bruh, that's wonderful advice.
Yeah.
And that you speaking to me, so I'm definitely gonna keep going. Man, listen, bro, when I say I appreciate you, man, I appreciate you. I told Dave, I'm be coming to DC, we gonna hang out. And he told me, he said, you ain't ready.
I'm about to be out in LA for a minute, man. Like I'm shooting out there for a minute, man. So we're all, you know, where are you located? You in LA or you?
I'm in New York. I'm in Rochester.
You're in New York. Okay,
yeah.
fine.
But you know, Dave, you know, LA connection. So we gonna make it happen.
Well, either way, look, New York ain't nothing but up the street from here. So you come down the street and hang out, man. That's whatever.
We gonna hang out for real. We gonna definitely hang out, man. Listen, I appreciate you, man. Keep pumping them hits, man. And yo.
Oh man, I love. I'm gonna send y'all some of these records too, man. You gotta get hit with the New Brass's record, man.
Man, listen, send it to me. You got my number. Send it to me, bro.
Send that. Bye.
Man, I appreciate you.
Okay, cool, man. That's what it do.
Love you, bro.
That same here, man. Y'all have a good one.
Chucky Thompson.
Love.
Appreciate you.
Bad boy. Bad. Listen, it's some stuff that I didn't know he did.
I remember, like that. First of all, that's my jam. I would have never. I didn't know.
As soon as I get home. Is that soon? I can't sing.
Don't. I was gonna stop you.
But listen, I hope you guys enjoyed that interview. I know I did. Did you enjoy it?
I loved it. I learned so much. I had no idea how much he had created, and you never know. You never know. And those tips that he gave. Make sure that once you find your passion, you go and you don't stop.
Don't stop.
So that's not just for producers or the music industry. That's
everything.
For dreamers.
Wait a minute, you just said a ditty. Can't stop, don't stop.
I don't think they want any of that.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Anyway, listen, I hope you enjoyed this episode. We got so many more. So many more. We thank you guys. Like I always say.
I mess it up every time.
Try it.
In fashion, there are no rules.
She got it close.
I was close.
Peace.